It is almost 1:15 on your Saturday. Welcome back to the weekend edition of Central Valley Business, brought to you by Central Valley Talk. I'm Austin Reed. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. We are now in the 1 o'clock hour, and we have more guests in our studios. You're watching us live on YouTube TV, Facebook, and at CentralValleyTalk.com. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm at Austin Reed on air, also on Instagram and Twitter. Hey, our next guest, give it up for Carlo Capone. He is live in our Tower District studios. How you doing, man? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. It's actually a beautiful day today.
It is very nice. Yeah, it's a little windy. Have you noticed that?
It is a little windy, but
morning?
Nice and sunny, you know, not too bad for Fresno, right?
No, can't beat this. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 66 and sunny. And then I was looking at the forecast, like next week, we could see temperatures in the 70s. So.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
okay, well, you know, Fresno, bipolar weather,
It
right?
is bipolar weather, especially in the winter.
It truly is, yeah.
All right, so Carlo, tell me what we're going to be talking about today. I already know what we're talking about because we were just catching up right before this segment. This is a very cool topic for people that want to go a natural way of feeling better, and there's so much.
There's, yeah, so do you want me to just...
Take it away.
Take it away?
Yeah.
Okay, so as Austin?
Yep,
I'm sorry.
that's right, yeah.
Sorry, first time I'm meeting Austin. As Austin said, my name is Carlo Capone. I go by that as my grandfather's name was Carlos, and they decided to give me my middle name Carlo and Capone just because I've been an entrepreneur since I was a child. I was first a loan shark at 8 years old. I loaned my mom's 37-year-old friend $300, and he paid me $330 back 3 weeks later.
You got going at a young age.
Yes. For the first lemonade stand when I was 5, and the list goes on. So anyway, I suffer from chronic Lyme disease, and a lot of my family members do. So I've had severe pain issues with my stomach, and I was introduced by. I'm very big in the bodybuilding community. And I was introduced about this product called Kratom, and started looking into it, and my friend showed me some sites. I tried it before. I didn't think it really worked, but you know, I hadn't tried a good product, and then once I finally tried a good company, I said, oh my goodness, this is the best thing I've used for my stomach without having to take pain medication, because my stomach is so bad, you know, that was the only thing that worked. You know, we did lots of studies and different things on my body, you know, can't find anything wrong, but that's kind of a common thing with Lyme disease is,
All right.
you know, everything looks normal, but your whole body's jacked up, you know. So anyway, so throughout the years, you know, I'm a self-taught endocrinologist. My father is a family practice physician, Gary Kritzer, DO. Doctor of osteopathy, and we're going on our 7th year in running the business. And I'm going about my 6th year of using Kratom. I had a very traumatic incident where I had to get a restraining order against someone, a fiance. And that stress set off the already, you know, underlying Lyme. And that's when my daily grand mal seizure, or not daily, but my grand mal seizure started for the first time in my life. I actually just had shoulder surgery, major shoulder surgery. I have a lot. Sorry, we could go on forever. But anyway, so Kratom is a plant that
Derived in Asia, right?
Yeah, it comes from Indonesia. Indonesia. Different parts, you'll hear the name Yellow Vietnam or Green Malaysian, but really it's all coming from almost all exclusively Pontianak, Indonesia. And it is actually a plant that is part of the coffee family. So it is, and it has a safety profile akin to cannabis. And this is a plant that has been used for thousands of years. Because of their religion, in Indonesia, a lot of people do not take it. They just farm it and produce it because it's not allowed. But for them, it's a very versatile plant. So again, it's called kratom, Kratom, and it can its main use for people is one of the main uses is pain. But it can be used for pain, fatigue, depression, anxiety, migraines,
Also
sleep,
ADHD, right?
ADHD. I've seen many people actually go off Adderall completely and switch to this plant. And it all depends on the dosing and your own, body's chemistry, of course. Having a good diet always is a big thing. I always let, our patients know as someone that, I have to live a healthy life, with Lyme disease,
Sure.
or else I don't function well, anyway, so I've been researching and trying to find, what's most affordable, best product, because I deal with chronic nausea too. And it's literally just the leaves of the tree that are ground up, and you drink it, either in capsules or you just drink it. Can make a tea, although the tea isn't quite as potent as taking the actual powder. So either taking the powder or capsules is actually what's best. And then they have their extracts, and there's many different types of ways that they make extracts, and most of them are junk. Just like a lot of supplements out there. Don't buy your supplements from Walmart, just letting you know. Probably don't want to. Just go to Vitamin Shop, trust me. Anyway, so I had heard of this company before, not mine, but this producer, and had said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. I had tried every known, famous, overly expensive, $10 for, one dose, $20 for a dose, concentrated form of this plant. And the guy sent me his product, and usually, these things come in like tiny little shot glasses, and it's one little drink, and that's it, right? Our product is actually a 30 milliliter bottle. Most people, especially if you do not have a tolerance to coffee, or it does hit the opioid receptors. Well, I'll get into its safety profile about that later. So depending on your tolerance to coffee, and if you do take pain medication, it can vary. But we have a patient that used to be on over 600 milligrams of morphine a day.
Dang.
And now all he does is drink kratom.
What?
That's all
Wow.
he does.
Wow.
Not doesn't even use extract. And mine is a blend. You'll see, like I said, about the main colors, like in the name, the red, white, and green. Those are the three main strains, as they call them. But they found that really there's no one tree that produces a red or produces a green or a white. They're all blends. They all have the same alkaloid profile. It comes down to the drying process, and the quality of the soil and the quality of the producer, just like any other plant. Anyway, so I tried this new extract out, and I was absolutely just blown away that with just like I said, less than 2 milliliters, I got better relief, longer relief than I had from any other extract I tried. I mean, stuff that, it would take, a dose would take, $20 or $30 or something like that. And here I am just spending a couple dollars, and I'm good for usually people once, twice a day is generally the norm. Some people have to, again, depending on your pain, your issues, may have to take it, 3 or more times a day, but it does have a fairly long activeness, or what's called half-life. Usually, and keeping it, once, the best way to not have to increase your dosage is you start small, you find what your, dosage is, and then you stick to it. I'm sorry. There's so much I could go on.
There's so much to talk about.
There's so much to talk about here.
Well, I gotta say,
Yeah.
I've taken Kratom before. I
Yes.
still use Kratom today.
Yes.
And it's amazing. It has changed my life. My 73-year-old aunt, she was on Adderall, and she got off Adderall, and she's been on Kratom for 2 years, and her ADHD totally gone.
Yeah.
With Kratom.
Yeah.
To help her. I mean, it's not gone, but you know what I mean.
Right.
But I've been trying to tell my wife to take it because she's got some, not diagnosed, but I think she has a little bit of ADHD. She also has
Yeah.
pain too.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
I've been trying to get her to take it.
Yeah.
But it works, and it is a great alternative to
Narcotics.
over-the-counter medication and narcotics, especially.
Absolutely. There can become, full disclosure, there can become a physical dependency, but it is something that you could use 5 days a week and develop no physical dependency whatsoever. Some people take it every day for 5 years, cold turkey stop, experience little to no withdrawal. Some people just, again, there's exceptions and there's rules. There's always an exception to everything. And these people that have these horrible experiences that you may hear or read about, that is not the rule. That is the exception. And I think you would agree with that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Like I myself, like I said, if it's a bad day, it's twice a day. Most days I can go full 24 hours without taking it, and I don't feel any withdrawal or anything, and I've been taking it for 6 years every day. And that's generally most people's experience. And again, depends on, dosage and all these different things. The beauty of it is that not only is it so versatile with not just pain, but fatigue, anxiety, depression, ADD, as Austin was saying, its safety profile. So as I think most of America is pretty on board with the idea that medical cannabis, or cannabis in general, is very medicinal and is very safe.
You can't really overdose on marijuana.
Yes.
And you can't overdose on Kratom, right?
Yes. There is one incident that they are investigating, but again, that's exception. That's not rule.
Right,
Just like there's the woman who died drinking too much for the radio show. She drank a bunch of milk to win her son an Xbox, and she died.
Oh, right.
Because her stomach exploded. There was a model that had starved herself, and then she ate food and she actually exploded her stomach. So there's horror stories for everything. You can drink too much water and die.
Or coffee.
Or cough, exactly. There's always going to be a horror story for everything.
Sure.
But that is not the thing to look at.
Yeah.
So I definitely, want people to know that when you do research it, go to Reddit. Read people's experiences on Reddit and different forums. And instead of some study that was backed by a pharmaceutical company that's trying to get it banned, why don't you read, actual people's experiences?
That's the only people that want it banned.
It can literally disrupt. You add all those together; those are multi-billion-dollar industries. The pain industry is already hundreds of billions, I
Yep.
think at least.
Yep.
So we're talking about almost $1 trillion industry, or trillions of dollars, or at least $1 trillion combined industry. And but luckily, shout out to AKA, the American Kratom Association. In 2016, the FDA or the DEA said they were going to do an emergency scheduling that in 30 days, kratom, this natural, safe plant, was going to be a Schedule 1 next to methamphetamine and heroin.
That's absurd.
And it absolutely is. But thank you once again to the AKA. Thank you to the Kratom warriors out there. The Kratom saves lives, people. It absolutely does. Also, talk about getting people off of not just getting people a natural alternative to their prescribed pain medication, getting people that are misusing
Sure.
pain medication.
Sure.
Instead of having to go to this methadone clinic every day. And also methadone is something where when you've been on it a long time, it takes a very, very long time to get off.
Long time.
Most people,
sometimes it's worse than heroin. Suboxone, same thing.
Buprenorphine, yes, Suboxone. A lot of these things are that they tout as for opioid abuse or opioid use disorder, are actual opioids themselves.
Yes, they are.
Methadone is actually originally methadolphin, because Adolf Hitler's his doctor, what was it, Gehrig?
Yeah,
or whatever,
like that.
something like that. He was the one that the Nazis were actually the ones that invented methadone.
Oh my gosh, Reese, I didn't know that.
And also oxycodone comes from the
From Germany
Nazis.
and from the Nazis, okay.
And what they would do is methadone is very long acting, and can be a very potent for certain people. For me personally, it doesn't. Again, everyone's body chemistry is different, and also having a good diet. I can tell you right now, having a healthy, good diet will make all medications, all natural products. I mean, you should have a healthy diet, of course, anyway.
Yeah.
But I can tell you from experience, it really, really does just give you the ability to take less and get better effect. And it's very important. Hydration also is another big thing.
So you're selling these.
Yes. So this is unfortunately, I apologize due to the extreme weather that is going on. I'm sure you guys have heard in Texas, it's colder there than Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah.
This is where it's produced, but it is a 30 milliliter bottle. Start out, if you are brand new to it, you would only start out with half an ml. You would wait an hour on an empty stomach, and keep going by half an ml per hour until, but most people, 1 to 2 milliliters is all they need, and that's 8 to 12 hours worth. If not, like I said, for me, some days it's an entire day's worth. And normally, something like this, like I said, one dose in these, it's mostly sold in head shops, smoke shops, whatever you want to call them, are $20, $25, and it's one dose, and it doesn't last very long, and it doesn't. This is completely different. This number one actually is my own custom blend, where it actually uses all different strains. So you get the benefit of all three, the red, white, and green. Each one is said to do different things, although really, basically, lower dose, it's more of a less jittery coffee. Higher dose is going to be more pain relieving and anti-anxiety. Of course, with extract, you need even less.
Mm-hmm.
So what would people normally would end up paying $200, $300, even maybe $600 for? You're able to get from my company, Carlo Capone Kratom Gold, for just $45. And actually, if you mention Central Valley Talk it's only $39.99.
Boom.
And we accept, we have Square, Cash App, Zelle, and of course cash, obviously.
And what's your number?
And our number actually is right there.
Okay.
It is 862-6558. And give us a call. We're happy to. I'm always as I'm hope your viewers can tell. You know, I'm very knowledgeable, very experienced, and any questions you guys have, please feel free to call. We are open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So I mean, if I'm sleeping, I'm probably not going to be able to get back to you at that
When
time.
you wake up, you'll text or call.
But right, yeah. But feel free to text. Feel free to call. And within less than 24 hours, we'll get back to you. Any questions you have, any information. Also, a really great thing is these Dr. Daniel or Michael McCurdy at University of Florida has been doing testing on kratom for almost a decade now, I think. And the National Institute of Drug Abuse, a government institution, has awarded them, I think now, I know at least the first grant was over $1 million, and then they gave them a second grant of $2.1 million because they found that, once again, the safety profile is akin to cannabis. It actually has its own, everyone's heard of Narcan, you know, what they use to, you know, bring people out of an opioid overdose. Kratom actually contains alkaloids in it, so that if you take too much, it actually has what's called an antagonist, meaning it'll block that receptor. So if you try to keep going and going, you know, because you're misusing it, it actually has its own safetyness, safety.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it actually has its
very cool.
own safety profile. And actually, an amazing study they did. I'll end with two last things. The main alkaloid in it is referred to as mitragynine, and the second main alkaloid is the oxidized version called 7-OHM. And they thought, and there's three main pain receptors in the brain. The mu, which is the strongest, that's what Vicodin, fentanyl, oxy, methadone, all the things we've talked about, all the prescription pain meds, that's where they mainly hit, is the mu receptor. Mitragynine is only a partial mu receptor, and it works also on the others, but it also works on the, like I said, for fatigue, you know, just like coffee would. Anyway, they did a study, and they isolated the 7-OHM, which is a pure mu agonist. So in other words, activates the most potent opioid receptor, and they gave it to rats intravenously, and they could not kill them.
Interesting. Wow.
They could not kill the rats because kratom does not activate, even extract, does not activate what's called the beta-arrestin receptors. How do people overdose? Respiratory depression. You literally stop breathing. Kratom does not activate those.
That's amazing.
So it is a plant. It has amazing versatility. And like I said, this is, I promise you, there is nothing in any store that you can buy or go that has quite this specific blend, and especially not at a price like this.
Yeah, try it. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Mention Central Valley Talk, and you get the bottle. Hold it up one more time. Show what it looks like.
For only $40, 40 instead of 45.
Perfect.
And also, if you want to do bulk orders, we can talk about that too, and can
You'll
do
hook 'em
even
up.
better pricing. Yeah.
Very good. 559-862-6558.
Yes, sir.
Call Carlo today. Good to meet you. Fascinating topic for sure.
Yes,
So.
absolutely.
I'm Austin Reed. You're watching Central Valley Talk. We're back with one more guest coming up live here in just a couple of minutes. Hang tight.